All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And what I want to get into today, is that we, as we in the feast, of tabernacles, all right, or known as the ingathering, all right, in the spirit, it's a beautiful thing as the Lord is gathering in, his people. That this is a feast, giving thanks to the Lord, all right, for the last harvest, okay, before the winter, and the Lord in the spirit is gathering, the harvest of the elect, through Yahweh Shai, okay, and the spirit of Yahweh Shai, all right, is on, his men, okay, to go and gather the elect in his spirit, and it's a beautiful thing because as the elect, is being gathered, okay, being cultivated in righteousness by this word. All right. This wicked society is in shambles, man. Okay. The earth is a shit show right now, man. Okay. The planet Earth is an absolute shit show, man. Okay. And what Esau got going on is extremely tacky and all over the place, man. Okay. This devil's losing it, man. Watching Esau, all right, trying to pull off this new world order is like watching a Hall of Fame, okay, athlete, all right, trying to play, okay, like he's still in his prime, all right, and he doesn't have the ability to do so, so it looks real tacky, and this is what we're seeing playing out in the earth while we're being gathered, all right, while we're being built up, for salvation, for deliverance, the Lord getting ready to show miracles, show his power, okay, and the earth is finna suffer, man, and from 2/3, all right, to the top elite families, all right, it's finna go bad for them, man, but the Lord has blessed us, to be a part of this end gathering, man, and one thing that we should take away, okay, from the times that we're in is to be appreciative, man, to be extremely appreciative for every little thing that the Lord is doing, for everything, to the small victories in our day-to-day, to major prophecy coming to pass, okay, real time. We should be extremely appreciative, man, So I want to get this in the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, and verse 1. It said, "Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken ye, people from far. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shai have called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother. Have you made mention of my name?" Okay, so the Lord predestinated, okay, the prophets to come back, okay, in this time. The prophets are dispatched to the earth for particular assignments, okay, throughout the history, okay, when you go through the Bible from Genesis until current day, the Lord would dispatch, prophets for particular assignments, okay, so you had Isaiah, he had his assignment, he prophesied, during the time of the northern kingdom, getting ready to fall, going into the southern kingdom, okay, during the time of Hezekiah, when they will begin to decline, okay, and that was his assignment. Jeremiah, he was sent to rebuke, okay, the kings, all right, of Judah, that was his assignment, okay, prophesy about, Babylon coming into power, okay, the Neo-Babylonian Empire. That was his assignment. And now in the latter days, he has tasked the prophets, okay, with chanting down, all right, America, which is Babylon the Great, okay, the great whore in the book of Revelations, all right, and chant down this whole beast system, NATO, America, EU, okay, and declare, the spiritual war on Amalek, okay, which are the rulers of this world, okay, the spiritual wickedness in high places. You see? So the Lord, has tasked, his prophets with the assignment of speaking truth right before the destruction, to give warning unto Israel, okay, and to let these nations know, all right, what's about to happen according to the will of the Lord. You see? So we're in beautiful times. And this is it. This is our last captivity, man. As we read about our history as a people and all these captivities we had to go through. Well, the fact that this is the last one, okay, what a beautiful thing. All right. The Lord, is hey, right on time. You see? Hey, this should be a time of us rejoicing. Because remember, if these people, all right, become more and more, all right, perplexed, okay, we should become more and more overjoyed because we know that everything that's happening, okay, is getting us another step closer, all right, to a righteous kingdom being established forever, okay? So he reads and says, and he had made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand have he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver have he hid me. Okay? So the Lord, pulled out the prophets as a secret spiritual weapon. Okay? And the elites have no answer for it. All right? That's why we're witnessing them scramble. Okay? Trying to figure out what angle to take. Okay? Because they can't come directly and deal. Okay? Because their whole empire, their whole kingdom is based off deception. Okay? And we've been equipped, all right, with 100% truth. So there's no angle that he can take, all right, when it comes to trying to debate or dispute, okay, this word. All right? That's why Apostle Paul, Apostle Paul was always so ready to get active when it came to defending the gospel, because he knew that all the philosophies and doctrine, Greek mythology, okay, during this time was some BS. He had the truth, okay? And when you go to 1 Corinthians 1, all right, let's get there in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. When you jump down, all right, to verse 20, okay? I'm going to read this in the NLT. 1 Corinthians 1 and 20 in the NLT. It says, so where does this lead the philosophers, the scholars, and the world's brilliant debaters? The Most High have made the wisdom of this world look foolish, man. You see? The Lord has made the wisdom of this world look foolish, man. Because for the longest, we looked at Esau as just this extraordinary nigga in the earth, man. Like he had it all figured out. Like he was just light years ahead of everyone else. Okay? The world bought into Edomite superiority, man. Okay? And we thought his scientists and, his doctors, his philosophers and scholars, like these guys were undebatable. Okay? If they said it, you can stamp it. You see? But true wisdom, true light has came into the earth and is triumphing, okay, what Esau considered light. Because all this philosophy that he has goes back to his enlightenment, okay, era, okay, which he did nothing but combine all the ancient mysticism, of these other kingdoms, okay, of these other empires, okay, and call themselves in light. You see, but real light, the truth, okay, that comes from the source, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, okay, has made Esau's light look dim, okay. It's put a, it's making this man look real dim. You see, so we're at the point now where the only thing this devil can do is get carnal. You know, the only thing that he can do now is try to get carnal. You see, which, you know, he's going to have his way with 2/3. But when he makes his way toward the prophets, okay, the Lord's going to intervene. Okay, the Lord's going to begin to intervene, and then the Lord going to showcase power. You see, so now, you know, the devil has been put in the corner to where you see he's getting draconian with his government. Okay, you know, because he can't deal with the true narrative of the scriptures. Okay, so one of the main objectives within his new world order, you know, is to remove truth. Okay, remove the men of truth, man, the sons of God. You see, but nah, this ain't his program. The Lord is still gathering in his elect, so this word is continued, you know, allowed to go forth. You see, and there's nothing that the devil, you know, can do. You see, until the Lord is ready for the famine of the word. Okay, well, let's go back here to the book of Isaiah 49. All right, Isaiah 49, verse 3. Isaiah 49 and 3. It says, and said unto me, thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. Okay, so the Lord's going to be glorified through his people. You know, there's a remnant in which the Lord's going to be glorified, man. And see, if you're of the hopeful elect, you can see the Lord's glory on his people, the believers, man. You know, you can see the glory of the Lord, okay, growing in the earth amongst their remnant, their hopeful elect, okay? And it says it's going to keep growing, you know, until it change. You know, these people are going to see, you know, their full glory at the return of Yahweh Shai, and we'll change in the twinkling of an eye. You know, that's going to be an extension, okay, of the Most High, the glory in the earth. You know, his son and the elect. You see? And it says, then said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for naught. And in vain, yet surely my judgment, it says, yeah, and in vain, yet surely my judgment is with the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, and my work with my power. Okay? So, you know, it can seem as if, you know, what we're doing is irrelevant. Okay? It's not effective. You see? But the Lord is doing, hey, he's using us for a mighty work. You see? And especially if you're on the outside looking in, you know, it can seem as if what we're doing is irrelevant, you know, because Jake wanted to see infrastructure, you know, Jake wanted to see, you know, money and revenue and, okay, breakfast for, you know, the hood, you know, some shit like that. See, Jake look at that as progress, okay? Jake don't look at, you know, this word going out, okay? The elect are being converted and edified, okay? And the prophecy just happened in real time. They don't look at that as progress, okay? They want to see that same old playbook, okay, of niggas trying to, you know, get businesses and, you know, boys and girls groups. And you see, the same shit, which every time Jake try to do that, it get weaker and weaker. You know, every time Jake try to call themselves running that same old tired play, it get weaker and weaker. Okay, because 2/3 are getting worse. You see, and you're trying to do that same tired play with the worst people, okay? Because Jake is worse off than they was 20, 30 years ago, okay? Jake is worse off than they were 5 years ago, man. You see? So that's played out, you know? But what we're doing, this is going to lead to immortality. It's going to be established forever, you know, because we're building on Yahushua, the foundation of Yahushua. So we're building on something eternal, okay? While Jake, you know, is building, all right, on nothing, okay? You see, Jake is trying to cure cancer with cancer. You see, that don't work. That's a terrible logic, all right? But nah, man, the Lord, when we read this in the NLT, Isaiah 49:1, it says, I replied, but my work seems so useless. I have spent my strength for nothing and to no purpose. Yet I leave it all in the Lord's hand. I will trust the Most High for my reward. Okay? Because we're not looking to get, you know, famous or popular or, you know, to be appreciated in this world. You see? As we mature in the truth, man, we don't look for that. Okay? We don't look to be liked or appreciated or, you know, we don't even look for that. Okay? Our reward is with Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay, let's get to it. You see? Let's go here to book of First Corinthians again. All right. First Corinthians 15. Let's see. Start at 57. Okay, First Corinthians 15:57. It said, but thanks be to the Most High, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. You know, so we're thankful, all right, for the victory that's already established, man. Yahweh Shai, when he, you know, completed his assignment on the cross. That's why he said it is finished. You know, he was a sacrifice. Their sacrifice was accomplished. Okay, they will pardon us. Okay, in these times, you know, from the Lord's wrath. Okay, and he will be permitted. You know, he will be permitted from the Father. You know, to come and conquer the earth in this time, man. So we already have the victory. Esau, it ain't no fight. Okay, it ain't no fight when Yahweh shall get back. You see, it's gonna be quick work. And that's the victory, you know, that we believe in. We believe in that victory. You see? And we got to believe in that victory in the worst circumstances. Okay? And see, when scripture say wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time, well, wisdom and knowledge of what? Okay? That there's a victory no matter what predicament we in. Okay? Whether we're homeless, okay? Whether we're in alligator Alcatraz, okay? Whether we're on the move, okay? Whether we get brought before, okay, judges and, you know, the higher ups, you see? Well, that doesn't change the narrative that we got the victory. You see, when everything is said and done, okay, we have a victory, man. Yahweh Shai coming back, okay? And that's our hope and our expectation, man. And we have to hold fast to that in the worst circumstances, okay? As we're getting ready to be tested. Verse 58, it says, therefore, my brethren, all right, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, okay, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord, you know, so always abounding, being unmovable, Okay, and abounding means going beyond. Okay, so here it is. The Lord has given us, the liberty to tap in. We should be abounding. Okay, in our lot, in our office, man. You see, we should be abounding in this thing. You know, because hey, what else left? We to the point now. The only thing left is the judgment and the deliverance, man. Okay, everything else is played out. You see, everything else, has run its course. Now we're in the time of judgment and deliverance. You know, so now we should take this last stretch. You see, to abound in the spirit of Yahweh by Shema Shai. You know, from doing the works, to growing, off camera and making the adjustments and just getting better, man. you know, pouring into the spirit, pouring back into the body. You see? So let's go here and we can end it here. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 62. All right. Jump down to verse 11. It says, Behold, the Lord hath proclaimed unto the end of the world. Say ye to the daughter of Zion, Behold, thy salvation cometh. All right. Behold, his reward, okay, is with him and his work before him. Okay. So his reward is with him. That's our reward. Okay. So it doesn't matter that most of our people look at what we're doing as useless and irrelevant. Okay. The Lord is pleased at what we're doing. And it takes faith to believe that. Okay. And the Lord is getting ready to reward, all right, those whom he's pleased with. You see? And that's the elect that's predestined, beginning with those first fruits. Okay? So that's the point. Just wanted to get into that. Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified. The next time I say Shalom, Kwon Yashala, on Bible, soon, Shalom.